full moon, guys, so we'll take it a little bit easier today, but we'll still have a 60-minute flow. We're focusing on backbends, okay? So you can come to your mat. It's so weird teaching without music. I can't hear any music. If you have a block or even a blanket that you can fold a bit higher like this, you can bring it underneath your shoulder blades. If you like this, it's not mandatory, or it's not of essence really, but it's a nice little chest opener already, since we're working a lot on this. Your knees can stay bent, the feet about mat width distance apart, and then just let the knees fall in against each other, and close your eyes. Good. And take just a few breaths to arrive, to gather your bits and pieces onto mat today. Good. We're focusing on a value definition, or a value emerging from within, from this heart space. The backbends are always also heart openers. They're not precisely the same, but they include obviously the expansion of our chest cavity, of our heart space into the front, but also into the back and the side body. In the yogic philosophy, there is this concept of the 5 different pranic energies that make us up, and that if in balance and harmony, they leave us in the ideal state of being. The one we want to focus on today is the pranavayu. The pranavayu is the most relevant of these 5 pranic energies. It's the one that governs the intake of air, the intake of food and energy, the propulsion forward, and the 5 senses, if you will. So it's also out of balance if we are exposed to sensory overload. So for today and now on this mat, I want to ask you to bring your senses inward. So scan very briefly through all your 5 senses, from hearing to seeing, through feeling, and before you pull them inward, make sure every time you are in one of those senses, you first direct them outward. So when you are, even with eyes closed, softening your gaze, but see what you can see beneath your eyelids. And then start to pull this sense of seeing inward. Do the same with the hearing. If you are hearing any noises right now, just stop naming them, but take them all in your surroundings. And then, instead of listening outward, see if you can start hearing your own pulsation. If you can start to draw your attention to your heart beating, pulsating a stream of blood around your body at any given time of your life. this never-ending heartbeat that starts with the moment you see the light of this planet and lasts until you leave it again. And find in your body the access point where you feel your pulsation. This can be anywhere where it becomes most evident to you. And from there, let it trickle outward over your entire body. Expand this sensation of a rhythmic pulsation that oscillates through your entire being. Good. And then you can roll off your block if you have it underneath. Remove it from underneath your chest. Good. Inhale your arms over the head to pull yourself long. Good. And then bring the soles of the feet together and let the knees fall outward. Hands meet, they can even interlace until the index finger, so Kali Mudra for those of you who know this. So hands interlaced, index fingers meeting, and then lift the hands over your face towards the ceiling and let them wander towards your feet, lifting your shoulder blades off the mat, coiling forward towards your feet. With the exhale, and then inhale to come back down, arms come back over your head, pointing to the back end of your mat. Exhale to lift again, point forward, shoulder blades lift off, your hips still stay grounded. Inhale. Back over your head. With the next exhale, we're coming up to seated. So curl up, see if your feet can stay grounded on the mat and come up to a seated position. Cross-legged. Good. If you want, you can bring this blanket underneath your hips. This always helps a bit with keeping the hips elevated, makes this cross-legged seat a bit more comfortable for most of us. Good. Inhale, arms out to the side. Good. And we'll do kind of a cat and cow motion with our back. So inhale to lift the chest forward, drawing a beautiful S-curve into your spine. So hollowing your lower back, if you will, but without collapsing the front body forward. So a gentle engagement in the core, and with the exhale, we're curling forward like you're hugging a big round ball, and send the gaze inward, rounding into a cat shape. Inhale, lift forward. Arms are engaged into the fingertips. Exhale to curl forward. Inhale to lift once more. Nice, and exhale to curl. And then inhale to lift and come into a neutral position. Arms keep out to the side. Bring your right arm high and bend it so you can reach for your right shoulder blade. Good. Left arm can reach over to grab the right elbow and draw the right elbow so deep that the back of your head can rest against it. Good. Inhale to lift, again the same motion we've just done without collapsing the body forward, but the back of the head wants to push into this elbow crease here. Good. And if you like, you can let go of the left hand and reach for the right hand behind your back. Nice. Lift, lift, lift. And with the exhale, we curl, coil forward. So fold your the forehead towards the floor, just as far as it lets you do this with the arms interlaced behind your back. You can also, optional, to keep your left hand on the elbow, of course. Inhale to lift back up, release, and shake it out. Good, second side. Arms back out to the side, left arm comes high, reaches for the shoulder blades behind, so the left shoulder blade. The hand doesn't want to come to the spine so much, but to the left shoulder blade. Good. Elbow, pull it in first to open the shoulder joint. Inhale to lift, become long in the spine, like you want to pull the vertebrae apart. And exhale to reach around. Good. Lift, lift, lift. Push the head into the elbow crease. And then exhale to drop forward. The forehead doesn't have to touch the floor. It's just an emptying of the front body of air, hollowing. Good. And inhale to come back out. Release the hands and shake it off. Good. Bring the hands forward, coming into an all fours position here. Bring the hands a bit further forward than you usually would. So not the wrists right under the shoulders, a bit further forward, and we'll just come into one cow pose, arching the back, look forward, draw the hands towards your knees. And with the exhale, coil and curl into the cat. Good. And inhale, look forward again. And bring chest and chin to the mat for Ashtanga Namaskar. Good. Elbows drawing in close. A first very gentle back bend. And then bring the hips down to the mat. Inhale up into a baby cobra. Baby cobra means it only comes from the back. Our hands can float and without impacting the elevation of our chest. And then bring the hands out to the side of the mat. Come onto these fingertips like little tents. Elbows come into the sky, come forward down to the mat with the forehead. And then we'll come up again into a cobra. And here we'll undulate the spine like we do normally in cat and cow. So right now we're in this cow shape, look forward. And come down all the way to the mat. With inhale, we're coiling the spine, lift, round, empty the front body, look towards your navel. Push the top of the feet into the mat. And inhale to come back down. With a cow shape. Exhale to lift and empty the body. Inhale to coil. Good. Nice. Move with your own breath. Keep the top of the feet grounded. See how much you can actually bring an undulation in the spine here. Waking up the tail to the neck end. Nice. And then come all the way down. Bring the hands right and left to the chest. Push back into a child's pose. Good. From here, we're lifting up onto the shins, so coming into the shin stand. A first prep for a camel pose. We're not going fully yet. We're just prepping here. Good. Bring your left hand onto the hips, or the left hip, the right hand onto the chest. Inhale to lift your sternum here into the chest. So you want to create length. You can even also bring quickly your hands to the sides, to the ribs here, and lift physically your ribs higher to create length in the spine and space in your chest cavity here. Lift the chest into the hand, and from there gently start to drop back with the shoulders further back than the hips. So it's much more a lifting and curling of your thoracic spines, of the upper spine here, than it is a rounding of your lower back to fall into a back bend. Send the hips forward with the hip flexors doing the rest of the back bend. Good. Lift, lift, lift. Hips come forward. And exhale, release. Sit down briefly into the child, bring the forehead down. And inhale, come back up, second side. So bring the right hand towards the hip bone. Inhale to create lift and length. And then start to lean back, sending these hips forward here. So this part of your thigh is the iliopsoas, this hip flexor, or one of the muscles in there is. And this is what is essential to your back bends, yeah? So your hips want to come forward, lengthen this iliopsoas, lift the sternum into the hand. And exhale, come down, bring the hands down. Good, tuck the toes. And sit back onto the heels, walking your hands inward. Good. Hands can still remain on the floor. Then lift the knees off the mat and bring them outward. So you're in this knee, I don't know, in this ballerina type position. So the heels are still touching, which is essential that we now can release the floor and come up to standing. Slow motion. Good stuff, good. So you're now at the end of the mat, step forward to the front of the mat. We're going through a Surya Namaskar C. Good, inhale the arms high. First we create length and lift again. So grab a hold of the right wrist with the left hand and first lift and arch over gently to the left, and then bring a twist in your spine to bring a back bend into the game. So it's like a twist and back bend, or not a twist, a fold to the left. Lift into this right arm with the left hand, and release coming into the middle. Change sides. Right hand grabs the left wrist, lift and arch over to the right, and then twist backward into this gentle backward. So your sternum again is lifting into the spine, into the ceiling. The hips are coming forward. And release. Good. Exhale to swan dive forward. Your hands can trace the midline here to fall forward. Hands on the floor or on the shins for Ardha Uttanasana, half forward fold. Lift the back long, parallel to the floor. Exhale, hands come down and bring your right foot back, right knee down for a low lunge. Inhale, arms come high. Good. Exhale, bring hands onto the left knee here and shift the hips back so you get two right angles in your legs. One here, almost right. Doesn't have to be perfectly right. And exhale to sink back forward so you're bringing length into the hip flexor. Inhale to come back up. Exhale to sink. So we're pulsating a bit here to bring more and more elongation into this hip flexor. Good. And the last one, to sink, arms come high. Maybe already a gentle back bend by bringing the shoulders a bit further back than the hips. If you're not ready yet, don't. And exhale, frame the front foot. Step the left foot back into a plank. Good. From here, send the weight forward. Knees, chest, chin to the mat. Exhale, hips come down, come up for a cobra. Tuck the toes, bend the knees, push back, downward facing dog. Good. Look forward, bending the knees generously, creating length in the spine, first downward dog of today. And bring the right foot between the hands. Left knee comes down for second side. Come up high. Low lunge here. And hands come onto the knees. With the inhale, your hips move back. So you create lift. And exhale to sink. Good. Inhale, lift. Push the top of the left foot into the mat. Moving from your Mula Bandha, so this pelvic floor is lifting you up. Rather than pushing only with the leg muscles, see if you can lift from your pelvic floor. Good. And the last one, sink down, bring the arms high again. Again, option for already a gentle back bend. And exhale, frame the front foot. Tuck the back toe and step forward into half forward fold. Exhale to fold Uttanasana. Inhale to come up standing, arms come high. Exhale, back bend. And here option is to bring the hands behind the lower back, either fingers pointing down or pointing up. Up to you, shoulder blades rolling towards each other. And then lean into those hands supporting you. You can also already bring the hands over the head, which makes it a bit harder. This here is still a supported version. And again, sternum lifts, hips come forward, the lower back is flat and relaxed. And inhale, coming to Tadasana, palms pointing forward. Good, let's go again a little bit faster and we'll add I think a few poses, are we? Maybe. We'll see. Inhale, come up high. Exhale, trace the midline with the Anjali Mudra. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, step the right foot back. Right knee comes down. Inhale to lift up high. Good. And here stay, instead of the pulsations, we're staying. And bring your right hand towards the right thigh. Left arm reaches high to support this back bend. If this is where you rest, stay here, that's fine. If you can walk the hand further back along the right leg to drop deeper, see if this is free for you. The hip is doing the work, the chest is doing the work. Remember this, it's not that we're bending the lower back. This actually doesn't bend ergonomically, or it shouldn't. So lift the chest into the sky, hips lift forward. Nice, and inhale, come back. And frame the front foot, tuck the back toe, step back, high plank. Good. Send the weight forward. And knees, chest, chin, come all the way down to the mat. Good. Inhale for a baby cobra. And then let go of the arms and reach them forward. This is really hard, I know. So it's a lift in the chest. Arms reach forward. Exhale, draw them into a cactus shape. So the elbows are drawing back. Your shoulder blades rolling towards each other. Inhale to lift forward, look forward. Sorry, if I say look forward, I mean like forward and down. So the neck is long and flat. Don't bring a kink into the neck. Inhale to lift forward, bring the top of the feet into the mat. Exhale, draw back. And the last one. Cactus arms. And then bring the hands down. Come down with the forehead, tuck the toes, push back, downward facing dog. Good. Look forward, bring the right foot forward, left knee down. Inhale, come up, low lunge, second side. So prepare here. Left hand comes down to the back of the left thigh. Lift your right hand into the sky, sternum is following, and start to bring the shoulders back. Stay here if this is the depth that you get. If you want to walk your left hand further back, do this. Good. Very nice. And inhale, release. Frame the front foot and step left foot to meet the right. Inhale for Ardha Uttanasana, length in the spine. And exhale to fold. Inhale, come up to standing. Nice. Back bend here. So either hands again at the lower back or over the head. Good. And release. Tadasana. Good. Very nice. Inhale, arms lift high. Exhale, trace the front line. Plant the hands and step back into a downward facing dog. Good. Explore a bit the stance of your feet and hands. So see if your feet want to step wider to bring the heels closer to the floor while the back stays long and flat. Good. Lift into the side body. Good. And then here again, we're curling and coiling the back. So exhale to coil, send the gaze into the navel, rounding the back in this downward dog. And with the inhale, look forward, send the chest through, sink it through the mat, arching your lower back. Maybe your knees have to bend for this to happen. Exhale to coil. It's easy now to bring the heels down because your back is round. Inhale to look forward, arch. One last one. Exhale, coil. Inhale, look forward, bend the knees. If you need to, lift. Good. Bring the heels together, big toes touching, keeping this shape in your lower back. Lower ribs drawing in, and then right leg floats high with the inhale. Good. Exhale, tippy toe on the left foot, right knee comes to the nose. Arching or curling the back. So bring the shoulder blades apart, knee hovers here. Look forward and arch the back, floating the shin towards the mat without it actually touching. Good. Look forward. Exhale to push back up. Knee to the nose. Inhale, look forward. Float. Exhale, knee to nose, and step the foot forward to meet the right thumb. Good. Left knee sinks down, come back up into our low lunge. Take a back bend here. So prepare, lift. You can always bring this hand to the sternum if it helps you. Otherwise, you can either drop the hands both past your body to reach for the floor or the blocks next to you, or you keep them over your head. Nice. Back bending, exhale. Frame the front foot, step forward briefly in a forward fold to counteract, release the lower back. Really shake it off you. You can even sway the upper body. And then bring the hands back down, step this left foot back, right into a warrior one position. So your left foot is gently at an angle, 45 degrees. Inhale to come up high. Exhale, hands interlace behind the back. Lift the chest, drawing into a gentle back bend again. And exhale to fold forward into a humble warrior. Good. Drop the top of the head towards the floor. The right shoulder is not resting on the thigh. Ideally, it's floating. Good. Nice. And then release the hands, and we're coming straight into warrior two. So release the hands, windmill them around, and bring them over. The left hand back, right arm forward into this warrior two. Good. We're again opening and closing our chest. So inhale to lift the chest forward, arms draw back while they're out into the fingertips. And exhale, hug this big ball, rounding forward. Pulling the shoulder blades apart. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, fold, curl, round, hollow the front body. Inhale, one last one. Exhale, hug the front ball. Good. Very nice. Inhale to lift, come into neutral, lengthen the front leg, reach the right hand forward, left hips back until you can't reach no more, and then bring the right hand down to the shin or the floor or a block inside the right foot. Good. Lift and lengthen, twist towards the left hand. Option to bring the left hand over the head to come into full Trikonasana. Good. Nice. And then exhale, bend the front knee, bring the left hand inside the right foot, pivot onto the toes, and right arm comes high for a simple twist. Good. Lift, drawing the lower ribs in towards your navel. Good. And exhale, frame the front foot, bring the back knee back down. Good. If you want, you can bring something underneath the knee to protect, or if you have sensitive knees or a very thin mat like I do, you can bring something under the knee. Inhale, come up. Both hands to the thigh again. Good. Find this depth here in your hips. Bend the left knee to bring the foot close to your buttocks. Nice. And left arm reaches around to grab a hold of the outside of this left foot. As you do this, you're probably lifting the hips back as we've done before. This is good to reach the foot. And then from here, see if you can send them back down, those hips, and lean into that hip flexor. Good. Twist the chest forward. Your hand rests on this foot here. Pull it towards you while the hip sinks down. Optional to reach the right hand also around to grab a hold of this foot as well. It's completely fine to do this with one hand. Stay there if this is what's available to you or where you're at today. And sink the hips down. Chest lifts, back bending here. Kick the foot into the hand to come close to the mat. Good. And release, come back up, release the foot, frame the front foot, And bring both legs into length, stepping the back foot a little bit closer, coming up in preparation for Parasuttanasana. So both hips pointing forward. Inhale to lift into a gentle back bend. And exhale, hands to hips, fold over the front foot. Framing the front foot with your hands or blocks to bring the floor closer. Inhale, lift the chest, exhale, fold. Good. And frame the front foot, bend the front knee and step back into high plank. Good. Come forward, knees, chest, chin to the floor. And come all the way down. Inhale, lift the chest. Release the hands and reach them forward. Exhale, draw them back into this cactus shape. Inhale, lift. Exhale. Shoulder blades come towards each other like you want to jam something between them. You want to hold a pencil in there or something. Put the top of the feet into the mat. And the last one. And then release the hands. Sit back into child's pose for a moment to counteract all the back bending. Good. Releasing everything from the spine. Find back to this heartbeat that can carry you inside your body almost better than anything else. See if the access point to your pulsation has changed, or if the first sensation where you feel this is still the same. Whether it's in your fingertips or in your chest. And then let the hands slide forward, come onto the knees, tuck the toes, push back, downward facing dog. Second side. Lift the hips high, bring the feet together, big toes touching. Inhale, the left leg floats up. Create length first into the upper arms, the upper body and arms, into the lower back. Exhale, tippy toe on the right foot, left knee floats through your nose. Rounding generously here into this high plank shape. Inhale to look forward, sink and arch. Exhale to lift. Shoulder blades come apart. See, it's always the same movement that we're doing with those shoulder blades. Inhale to lift, exhale. And the last one. Inhale, arch, look forward, hover. Exhale to curl and step the foot forward. Good. Right knee comes down. Inhale, come up, low lunge. Good. So again, either arms over the head, dropping back into a back bend here, or what we've done before, of course, with one hand down, the left arm lifting. Or if you want, you can bring both hands right and left to you to drop into a deeper version. Good. And remember, chest is lifting, hips are bending. Or the hip flexor really. Not the lower back. Good, and inhale, come back up forward. Frame the front foot and step the right foot to meet the left for a very brief release. Full moon is a time of release. So see if all this opening and then dropping it off brings out something that you need to release from this first lunar cycle of the year. Swaying the upper body, bending the knees generously so this upper body can really fold and drop forward. And then frame the front foot or both feet and step the, which one did we have? The right foot back. Yes, I think so. Good. Oh, sorry. No, step it right into our warrior one pose. Exactly. Inhale, come up. Arms high. Exhale, interlace the hands. The odd way around. So the other pinky finger on top. We have the normal way that we usually always interlace. So see if you can bring the other pinky finger on top. Just to bring diversion into your motion. Lift chest high. And exhale to drop forward for humble warrior. Good. Nice. Arms fall forward towards the front of the mat. Ground into the outside edges of both feet, lifting into the arches. Nice. And then pivot open, releasing hands to come into our warrior two. Good. Maybe you need to step the back foot further back to create more space so you can sink into this right angle here. Good. Exhale again to curl and coil, hollow the front body, hug a really big ball in front of you. Inhale, lift and arch. Exhale. Moving very slowly with your breath. Nice, it looks great, guys. And the last one, meeting in a neutral pose here. Look forward over the left middle finger. Lengthen the front leg. Send the right hips back. Reach, reach, reach. Without this left knee overarching. So don't bring it too far into the bend. Keep a micro bend and bring the left hand down. Good. Lower belly is drawing in, flattening your entire back body along an invisible wall. Inhale and then exhale, windmill, right hand down, left arm forward and open onto the right tippy toes for a simple twist. Good. And exhale, bring the left hand down, left, right knee down, come up into a low lunge. Second side here. Sink the hips down, maybe bring again the blanket under the knees, the right knee if you need it there. And bend the right knee, pulling the right foot towards you. Reach the arm around to grab a hold of this foot. Lifting the hips back in the process. Good, and then pull the foot in towards you while your hips sink forward. So you want this elongation of the hip flexor. The foot is countering your pull, kick it back, and if you want, bring the left hand also to grab onto this foot and drop into a back bend here. The trick is, if you are not on a towel or blanket especially, to slide here forward onto the top of your thigh rather than actually resting on the joint. So you're resting on top of the thigh, not so much on the actual knee. Good. Lift the sternum high, dropping. And gently release, come forward, left the right foot float down. Lengthening both legs, maybe stepping a bit closer with the back foot. Inhale, come up. Twist the right hip forward, left hip back. Both feet are on two different tracks here. Reach high, gentle back bend. And exhale, hands to hips, fold forward. Bring your rectangles of hopes, the blocks that lift the floor closer. Inhale, chest up. Exhale to fold. Good. Very nice. Good. And then both hands inward, twisting both feet towards the long edge of the mat. Wiggle them closer, heel toe them closer. And sink your hips down, coming into a malasana. Good. Hands at your heart. And now, instead of our usual malasana where we lift the chest and lengthen, you're now allowed to curl and bring your forehead towards your thumbs to rest and release. So it's very nice, this pose after all the back bends, because you can really drop everything off, this lower back tension, the hip flexors. Good. Nice. And then bring the hands down. Come onto the knees here, just fold them forward. Sit back onto the heels. We're coming into another round of camel. So come up onto the shins. And now if you know your camel practice, you can decide yourself whether you want to do this with toes tucked or flat on the mat. This is harder because you have to bend, fold deeper to reach, yeah? Okay. Again, we're preparing hands to the ribs. Inhale to lift and lengthen. Maybe you even want to bring this hand to the sternum if it helps you. Good. Right arm lifts high. Exhale, windmill it back and reach for the right heel. Good. If you like, you can stay one-sided, lifting the left arm over the head. If it feels available to you, you can bring the left arm also back to drop into this very deep back bend. Good. Here especially, hips shift forward. Hips shift forward. Again, it's like a mantra. Hips want to go forward, chest lifts high. Good. Dropping your head back is an option, but it's not ideal since you're bringing a kink into the spine. So maybe your spine, your head is just an elongation, an extension of the spine. One more inhale. And come gently out. Bringing the hips down onto the heels and sit for a moment here. Closing your eyes, hands resting on your thighs, and let it all drop off. The cyclical nature of this lunar cycle is a very good image to repeat for ourselves, for our practice, for our life. Everything has a beginning, a moment of staying in this arisen situation, and then an ending where everything drops off. And let it now drop off. Good. And then bring the hands forward, tuck the toes, lift the hips up. We're going again through our flow, but we're actually flowing. So one movement, one breath. See if you can just follow. If you lose it, don't worry, just come back in. Inhale, right leg comes high. Exhale, knee to nose, and step the foot through left heel, left knee comes down. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, drop into your back bend. Hand on the thigh or both hands down. And inhale, come forward. Step the back foot forward, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, left foot steps back into warrior one, come up high. Exhale, hands interlace. Lift into the inhale. And exhale to fold, drop inward. Good. Careful now, knee pose, inhale, lift halfway up. Send the weight forward, left foot floats off into a warrior three. Just for one inhale here. Nice, and exhale, step it back, open up into our warrior two. Good, we're skipping the undulations. With the next inhale, lengthen the front leg, reach the right hand forward, left hips back, and right hand comes down, Trikonasana. A line along the invisible wall. Exhale, front knee bends, left hand comes in, right arm up. Good. And exhale, come down, left knee down. Inhale, come up into low lunge. Bend the back leg, hold onto the foot, one or both hands, and drop into this back bend just for one breath. Good, and release the foot and lift up, both legs lengthen, come up with the inhale, and exhale to fold, Parsvottanasana, pyramid pose. Good. And another knee pose, walk the hands a bit forward, bend the front knee, and lift the left leg high into standing splits. Good, lift, lengthen. And exhale, step it back. Step the right foot to meet the left. Good. Weight forward, knees, chest, chin down. Inhale, hips come down, chest comes forward. Baby cobra or cobra. Exhale, come down, tuck the toes, push back, downward facing dog. Beautiful. Ooh. Second side. Take 2 breaths here before we start. Lifting, lengthening. Good. Meet feet, meeting. Meet the feet meet. Anyway, lift, left leg high, inhale. Exhale, tippy toe, left knee to the nose. Curl forward and step the foot through. Right knee comes down. Inhale, come up. Exhale, drop into your version of this back bend. And inhale, come out, frame the front foot, step forward, forward fold. Drop it off. And rise again. Right foot steps back into warrior 1 position. Come up high. Exhale, hands interlace the odd way around. Lift the chest into a back bend. And exhale, fold forward. Good. Inhale, halfway lift. Send the weight forward until the back foot gently starts to float, lifting off into a warrior 3. Good. Exhale, bending the standing leg gently and step the right foot back, open up, warrior 2. Good. Inhale to lengthen, sink, exhale, lift and lengthen the front leg. Right hip comes back, reach forward, Trikonasana. And with the exhale, spin the right hand down, left arm high, twisting onto the toes for a simple twist. And exhale, sink the right knee down, come up, low lunge, hands on the thigh. Bend the back knee. Reach around one hand or both. And dropping into this back bend here. Good. And come back out with the inhale, lifting up, release the foot. Frame the front foot to lengthen both legs, step the back foot a bit closer, come up high with the inhale and exhale to fold. Frame the front foot. Inhale, look forward, bend the front knee. Shift the weight and right leg floats into standing splits. Good. And exhale, step the right foot back, left foot joins. Good stuff. And knees, chest, chin, come all the way down to the mat. Good. Very nice. Arms come along the body. Inhale to lift the chest again for half locust pose. Hands reaching towards the heels. Lift, lift, lift forward, arching the chest, not the lower back. Nice. And exhale, release. Good. Inhale, lift again. Interlace the hands. And then let the legs join, lifting them up from the hip to float into full locust pose. Nice. And exhale, release. Very good. Tuck the hands right and left to the chest and sit back into your child's pose for a moment. And then lift back up. Swing the legs forward. Good. Bending the knees. Hold on to this shin part here, just below the knees. Inhale to lift the spine. And exhale exhale to curl, leaning into the arms. Let the arms get so long, but still hold on to the knees so you can really round the back. Maybe you can also here really tuck this tailbone, so your pubic bone comes up, this lower back getting so round. It's really nice after all the back bends. And then let go of the hands and just uncoil down to the mat. Nice. For a moment, just windshield wiper the legs. And then we're coming into the last few poses. Of course, in a back bend class, we can't skip the bridge. So even though we've done a lot of back bends, see if it's in there for you. If you're done with the back bends, you can just take a very relaxed bridge pose. So pull the pubic bone in towards the navel, and that rounds the lower back towards the mat, and then lift from the pubic bone up to unfurl the spine away from the mat. Bridge pose. Now, if you're really done with the back bends, you can bring the hands to the lower back to sort of rest in here. Hand the weight over into your hands and into the ground through your arms. If you still have it in you and you want more, you can walk the shoulder blades together behind you to deepen, lift the hips high. And for those of you who want, we can all come out for a moment now, come back to the mat. Knees come into the chest, rounding. We're going again, and for those of you who want, you can come into a Urdhva Dhanurasana, so a full wheel pose. If you want to follow my cues, you can do it with me. I'll guide you through it if you're not that comfortable in it yet, or you don't do it yet in your own practice. So bring the feet again hip width distance. Exhale to curl the, first hands next to the shoulders. Okay, so behind the shoulders, next to the ears. Good. And then curl the spine towards the mat, lifting up into your bridge. Good. And from there, if you want to follow me, lift up, come onto the top of your head. So it's still resting on the floor. Good. Reposition the hands if you need to, and then lift gently, maybe just a few inches away from the floor, maybe all the way to lengthen the arms. Good. I can't see, unfortunately, but I'm sure you guys are all doing wonderful. If you are in wheel pose and you want to deepen, send the chest towards the top of the mat, so your legs start to lengthen. Good. And gently come out of this back bend. Good. Windshield wipering the legs. Nice. Lift them both off the mat. Good. Left leg comes over the right. Maybe shift the hips gently over to the left to fold both legs around over to the right side. These twists are so nice after all the back bends. So it's a real release of your lower back, which is also why you can stay here without sending the gaze over to the left, because we want to focus the twist on the lower back. But if you have a calling for it, you can of course send the gaze over the left shoulder, drawing towards the floor to make this a full spinal twist. Or you can just focus on this lower part of your spine. Good. I know this is quite a full-on full moon practice, but I was really excited about this flow. And I do think that back bends have something beautiful to open and then release. So the full moon time, especially this full moon with the start of the year, is so powerful. Inhale, bring both knees back into the middle, unwind the bind. You can pedal the legs out for a moment, and then take the next side. Maybe if you want, shift the hips over to the right to keep the alignment. Right leg folds over the left, maybe double wrap. That's up to you. It doesn't matter if it's just once, and fold it over to the left. Like this. And start to unwind. Start to, especially in such an cue-oriented class, find back to your inner world at Shavasana or in the last wind down phase of the class. So bring your attention to your fingertips and find the pulsation of your own blood flow and the connection to the infinite consciousness there. See whether your awareness of what's behind this layer of skin on your fingertips is further than just the physical. Inhale to come back into the middle. Any last poses you want to take, you can take them right now. If the song is absolutely unsuitable for Shavasana, which it shouldn't be, because the playlist is meant that way for 1 hour. But check in with your music if you need to change it. I can't hear it, unfortunately. And if there's any last pose, you can take that, of course. The happy baby is really nice for another release of the lower back. Of course, any inversion is always nice to end the class. Headstand, shoulder stand, or simply lifting the legs into an L shape to your upper body. Lifting the hips so your lower hands can rest, support the pelvis, and bring this gentle tilt. And let this become part of your Shavasana. And if you want to stay here longer, you can, or you can start to unwind the legs out, bring them into your starfish pose, into the final resting pose of today's class. You can wiggle the feet, you can shake the head no. Inhale into the chest, so you're conducting a 360-degree inhale. Inhale to lift the chest up to the side and into the back of the lungs. And exhale, contract. Inhale again. Front, side, back. And with the exhale, open the mouth and maybe let go of sound. A deep woo is a vocal connected to a release. Nice. And since we're already over the hour, you can come back to a seated position in your own time, or you can of course stay longer in Shavasana. That's always there for you. Otherwise, bring motion back into your body, gently rocking yourself back into a seated position or over your side body. Arriving here cross-legged. Inhale, arms out to the side again. Bring one hand to the front of your heart and one to the back of your heart space, or near. It's fine if it doesn't reach, don't force it there. Inhale again to conduct this 360 expansion of your heart space into the back of the lungs, side of your rib cage, and the front body. Nice. And then bring your hands to your heart space, and from there to the front, your forehead, bow in your own grace and gratitude.